Oh man, this is gonna be so cool. He's dead, game's over, go home. He's trying to eat that kid's finger. This is actually a sequel to the zombie Yakuza game. It's also a JRPG adaptation of Lies of P. Sorry, Lies of Pi. Sorry, Life of Pi. Why aren't there any more good pirate games? No, it's a perfectly valid question. In all of gaming history, I count 2. The creatively named Pirates and its eventual remake, also called, perhaps unhelpfully for cataloging purposes, Pirates, and that one Assassin's Creed game nobody liked the Assassin's Creed part of the game for. Come on, I know all this already. Where's my ship and talking parrot? Also, I guess this one if you're sociable and have no trouble making small talk with total strangers while waiting in a buffet line. Wood.
お水これは店のおごりだからこちらはモアナ姉ちゃん
Not this, because Link never contracted scurvy and you can't really rob anybody in it. Oh look, it's a Caribbean Yakuza shakedown. Seriously, where the f is my ship? What did I pay 50 bucks for? Where the f is my ship? This is just a Yakuza game. It boggles the mind because you'd think it'd be obvious. GTA makes oodles of money and its canonical prequel like $69, which is also oodles of money when adjusted for inflation. But a Pirates game is really just GTA with the horses and cars replaced with boats and the open world flooded with water. You'd think it'd be a no-brainer. Hey look, it's Hey Hey. Sorry I killed Hey Hey. I'm just so bored. Where the hell is my Pirates game? And then it starts lecturing me about the dangers of eating bats because I assume work on this game began during COVID and persisted throughout until release. The theme is self-explanatory and you don't have to draw any trees or map out any roads. You can just copy and paste the water texture until your processor melts. Well, at least nobody still understands what it means to be a criminal. Well, at least the music is a rousing swashbuckling affair. Well, at least the mid-battle QTEs are still amazing to look at. Finally! Pirates with smartphones, the makings of a global superpower, and listening to disco while pillaging. Also stopping child abuse. Yet after Skulls and you shit the bed, it falls to Yakuza of all series to take up the Jolly Roger and not make a very good Pirates game out of it, as it turns out. No, really, I love the series. I have every game, finish every game because I like Asian crime drama and also Asian crime drama dressed up as an 18th century samurai historical epic with mandatory karaoke. My favorite character is all of them. Manly drama queens they all are, crying like rugged bitches. Whenever the game deigns to tug on the heartstrings in between goofy side quests and surprising elaborate minigames. Finally! Yes, I'm gonna show you all of these. Yes, it is because they're really, really cool. No, it's probably not all of these because I'm only gonna unlock whatever comes my way. I'm not a crazy 100%er. One of the minigames, as is tradition, is usually promoted as a headline attraction and gets more attention and budget than the rest, which all have to subsist on the same reused assets going back at least a decade now. And unfortunately, that minigame is the Pirates minigame in a Pirates game, where being a pirate should not have been a minigame. I never really had to do this again, so I don't know why it's even in the game. So, the Pirates game shouldn't have been a minigame, least of all for Monsieur Goro Majima, who is honestly wasted as a leading man in a leading man's role he was practically metaphorically born to play. A charismatic, crazy criminal with a heart of gold who, in this round of enthusiastic cosplay, wouldn't look out of place on either a Pirates of the Caribbean holiday special or a One Piece filler arc with all the boobs replaced by a heated rivalry with Samoa Joe. No, that comes later. In the meantime, watch this. Also, you're collecting the 10 rings. Comic accurate 10 rings because those are bangles. What the fuck, Marvel? So I immediately slapped my thigh with relish upon first hearing about this game with a resounding finally, and then promptly turned around and slapped the first wench I saw. When I actually played the game with a drunken, angry no. How the hell did you mess this up? I don't want to be on land anymore. Let me go back to my ship. And the question being rhetorical lends obviously to the answer that they made the Pirates portion of the Pirates game a Yakuza game, and not a Pirates game dressed up with Yakuza canon and characters. This is just taking up way too much resources that should have been spent on the Pirates thing. Look, never mind the pretty okay to good story. Goro gets amnesia, befriends the younger brother of a Samoan Disney princess, becomes the king of the pirates and traverses the Grand Line just to find the Fountain of Youth to cure said child of asthma. That's the story, likable characters and trademark betrayals and melodrama notwithstanding, and that's all well and good. The combat is also okay if slightly unimpressive, and the rest of the game is bolted together from the carcass of infinite wealth in the same way the ship of Theseus was also built on reused maps and art assets until it can legally be called a new ship and charges you $50 to ride on it. Oh, Shinto gods, not you again, f*** up. Okay, seriously, I've been here a while. When can I go back to my ship? Okay, somebody answer me, what is the Japanese obsession with segways? What? Seriously, do I even have a ship anymore? Oh, you f***er. Yeah, I beat up a completely different guy than the animal abuser. What of it? He had it coming. It's America. This isn't illegal if you do it to a brown person. So, when can I stop fighting assholes and get back to my ship? Actually, this is the game level gating me by making me play Yakuza before I can play the Pirates game I paid for. Finally! No, you can't come with us, we're vegetarians.
Boat snack!
Yet the main attraction commits the ultimate seafaring sin of not being an open world at all. The maps are all separate. The Yakuza style of here's a little area with stuff in it and people to punch, substituted verbatim for here's some water with ships to shoot. Even the boarding is a completely separate instance. I told you he's in this game. This really doesn't happen enough. So the game is about as fun or true to the fantasy as a bathtub full of slightly used toys, and about as unimpressive. There's no sense of actual travel or scale of the ocean, which makes traversing fun. And why even bother when you can just fast travel anyways? There's next to nothing to do while sailing besides picking fights with conveniently placed enemy ships for lack of anything better to do, or to grind upgrades to upgrade your ship for the fights that actually matter, which all take place in a closed off arena that's less the Buccaneer's fantasy and more Mortal Kombat for really boring people who build those ships in a glass bottle. Nerd! Every time you make landfall is also a separate instance. See, I understood that without knowing Japanese because I watched too much One Piece. Kaizoton! There's just no point in doing it unless you're obligated, and for all intents and purposes, it's just another Yakuza minigame to briefly hold up the rest of the plot you're actually interested in seeing. And since I can play Virtual Fighter now without having to buy a Yakuza game, I can safely say just wait for a big sale and go back to trying to make friends with strange people on the internet. Still a pretty good One Piece adaptation though. So is this game worth playing or what? Hey, I'm talking to you. Shit, I'm sorry. Yes, we are gonna watch all of these. I think you'll agree by this point that somebody at Sega is out to get Majima. Goro is the perennial understudy who consistently outshines every leading man he's paired with, purely on the merits of being crazier than squirrels chewing through sweaty nutsacks. And yet, every time he gets a chance to take first billing on the poster, he inevitably gets saddled with all the side piece productions at the house of the monopupil prickly rat that makes all kinds of sense on paper but absolutely shits the bed in ways you wouldn't imagine, like a previously healthy stock market could after electing an economic moron.
Everything's computer. Everything's computer.
Once again, bears mentioning that I am a fan of the series. I own every game outside of one of the aforementioned side pieces that has thus far been wisely kept off Steam to prevent, I guess, the digital herpes from catching. But how appropriate we've dodged an STD only to end up with scurvy instead. Scurvy, what the hell? Anyways, you know, the ones sailors get. Why the hell am I even bothering talking to simpletons without this MD license I spent so much time my camertage to get?
Thank you.
I don't even... This shit is $80? What the hell, Nintendo? Sure. So, pirates, which we've touched on before, and now that I've finished the game, can safely say was not the safe bet everybody thought it was, ever since Goro Majima sailed out to find the One Piece before Mr. Fantastic. Huh? Okay, because as it turns out, Yakuza, Like a Dragon, American Pirates, whatever, is really not much of a pirates game, and continues to not be much of a pirates game throughout its runtime. She's as confused as me because we both bought this game thinking it would be about pirates or something. Oh man, I bet the Japanese thought this was hilarious, but what if I'm Jewish?
Simple is best.
Holy shit, I understood that Japanese. No, I am gonna force you to watch this. The game forced me to, so if nothing else, we'll suffer together. Now I swear, this is very interesting. Okay, so the pirates portion again is just instances. Instances of water about the size of a fairly excessive fishbowl, with scatterings of badly textured rocks and enemy ships floating about listlessly, looking to be shot, and if you choose to go to an island, that's another instance of badly textured rocks, and enemy sailors milling about listlessly, looking to be shot, and if you go to Hawaii or any of the hut towns, that's another instance where you just go back to playing a Yakuza game. Not complaining, because nostalgia for the golden age of Hong Kong cinema has raised me to appreciate the sight of handsome Asian men pointing guns at each other and then crying like total bitches. But not exactly what I thought I was paying for either when getting on this ride. Why am I fighting a Gundam now? That's the problem with the pirate spinoff. Everything is divided into chunks, like an obsessive compulsive serial killer looking to pad his resume. That's more like it. Well, theoretically they named themselves the Mundane Pirates, so whatever ass kicking they get, they got it coming. Okay, I win. Wait, I thought I won. The minigames are basically ham-fisted attempts to cram as many ROMs from the Sega back catalog as possible into the digital arcade cabinets, as is tradition, but even the acts of getting together a crew, upgrading your ship, and all of pillaging and wanton destruction, as befitting the nautical equivalents of the homeless person who might stab and rob you when you go for a cigarette at the local convenience store after 12 AM, never fits together into a cohesive whole, and nowhere is this more represented by the headliner attraction, that is the battle with other notable pirates. Nobody actually dies in this game, as is the tradition with anime. Pearl Harbor 2, bitches. Also, more One Piece. I wonder how this game sounds in English.
Seems you've been hard at work on your ship, Captain Majima. Finally, you and Mortimer will be squaring off.
I get the feeling she ain't.
What? No, change it back. What the hell was that?
你是怎么注意的?
Oh shit, what kind of guttural filthy tongue is this? Oh good, much better. Anyway, again, all this happens in a fishbowl Thunderdome because apparently nobody could get a true open world working in this engine and couldn't be bothered to try. I mean, Wind Waker exists, but you can't play it anymore, thanks Obama. I mean Nintendo. And Assassin's Creed Black Flag looks like mid-2010s shit that rich and attractive people who can afford a 5090 can't honestly be bothered with, but Sea of Thieves still exists? That dude is really short. Oh man, I totally thought he was giving them the finger. What are you guys looking at? I'm the only one telling the truth about this game. So, Sea of Thieves. Yeah, you just need real life friends to play it, but it still manages to grasp the single most important design thesis that is mandatory for a pirates game, which is a true open world filled with dirty, salty water you can't drink. This is far less exciting than it looks. This looks far cooler than how the game actually plays. Where are we going? Bet that kid doesn't even know they're gonna sacrifice him to the Kraken. So, serious question. If you find treasure like this, who converts it to cash for you so you can actually spend it on, you know, like food and shit? Huh? Why am I still playing this? Oh right, the best One Piece game you can buy. See, they're fighting the Marines and everything. Also a bear. Subtitles f***ed up. Fire that guy. That'll do.
だからやらせてください
I'm not crying, Kiryu is. Go home, Moana.
それからこれも忘れもんや船長
Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, now we have to do that thing where everybody fights like one guy and you have to run down a very long hallway to get to the last boss. Well, again, if you look at my playlist, you'll find I am one of the aforementioned obsessive-compulsive serial killers, looking to pad my resume, and the worst Yakuza game still has a pretty decent story, filled with all of the surprisingly endearing melodrama the series is known for, along with all the extra stuff bolted onto the side. Do I regret buying it when all is said and done? Yes, I suppose, if only because it didn't live up to the expectations I had for it based purely on how it advertised itself, and I should probably have waited for a sale. No, if you, like me, finish every other Yakuza game you already have and basically regard this series as your old ball and chain, whom you go to for live-action softcore Japanese porn.
Yes.
But with enough plausible deniability that you don't feel very guilty for watching it with your pants off, then yes. But still, wait for that sale.
財宝っちゅうのは追いかけるうちが
So you like wastelands and cowboys and alternative history, eh? Well, it just so happens I also write books. Genuine novels with plot and characters, and this one is available now on Amazon about an alternate World War II Pacific theater that is like Firefly mixed with Inglourious Basterds.
See how feed us into your Nazi boss.
And I also have a Patreon now where if you subscribe, you get DRM free versions of the same books as soon as they come out. Why? Because I like money. Also because I'm posting entertainment opinions on YouTube, so frankly, I should have done this years ago because you know I'm completely without capability for shame.